What is up, everybody? Chico here today. And today, it's not going to be the greatest conversation. A 30-year-old man in America, and that is me, obviously. I've been watching some documentaries lately. Um, Jeffrey Epstein, Alex Jones, and other people. And as you guys know, what is going on with Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs, whatever you want to call him. The reality of it is there's some very bad, evil people in this world. And like, I don't want to go too much into religion or politics or anything like that, but realistically, there's people that think if you don't accept Jesus as your Lord Savior, that means you're going to hell and you're a bad person. I respect people's beliefs in religion. I'm not for it, and I'm not going to believe in it. I have my own personal beliefs, which I've talked about in a previous video, and that goes even deeper than I spoke about. But I don't consider that evil or you're going to hell. So what I do consider evil is people that abuse, rape, whatever you want to say, to children. I think that's very disgusting. It's heinous and it's very evil from within. I also think somebody like Alex Jones, I just watched a documentary about him claiming that the Sandy Hook devastation and shooting was a hoax. And not only did he say this and disburnish the kids' children names, which broke my heart, but he also had his following attack the parents that already lost a child. And yes, they sued him and won $1 trillion, but what does that mean? That doesn't get your kid back. And yet today he's still not paying the money, so that's a huge issue among itself. And then literally at the sentencing for himself, he wasn't there and was watching it and mocking it. So it's insane that a person like that has 2.2 million followers on Twitter. The people that think he's telling the truth or believe in him is heinous and insane, and then tells you, hey, look, I have all this money I have to pay back, so do me a favor, buy some supplements. And then you look at Jeffrey Epstein, who died in prison, and then, his own partner said he didn't die, and then they showed a picture of his cell, which he just came off a suicide watch, but he has a sleep apnea machine with an extension cord and dozens of blankets. It makes absolutely no sense. And then at the time of his death, cameras didn't work, guards were tired that were supposed to be watching him, and there was no cellmate. So whether all these things are true or not, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's still an island that a guy owned where heinous things took place, and it's boarded up. Why is this keeping under wraps? Not only that, Jeffrey Epstein was a person that claimed that he recorded anything and everything, kind of like what Diddy did or is doing, and then has dirt on people and says, listen, you're going to give me all this money, because Jeffrey Epstein, there was really no way he made his money other than Ponzi schemes. So I'm not going to get too much into it. You guys can look into it. It's very disgusting and disturbing things. And I think that Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy are just pawns on a chessboard, and this goes way deeper than it actually is. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's facts. Conspiracy theories is what Alex Jones thinks, and thinks that kids being murdered is a hoax, and that's bullcrap. I'm sorry. I cannot agree with that. Do I think that the government is only doing positive things and looking out for us? I really don't. But I'm also not going to sit here and doubt the death of children. Like, that's so disgusting and absurd. But this video and all these documentaries makes me realize how many bad and disgusting and evil people there are. Not even just men, but women as well. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell, or whatever, however you say her name, was literally bringing in underage girls for Epstein. So she's part of it. It's not like she's forced to do it. So that being said, it's really scary, because I do have a daughter, and I look out for my daughter, and I devote my life to my daughter and to protect her at all costs, whatever it takes. Me as a parent, if that was my child in Sandy Hook and Alex Jones was saying that about my child, I would be in prison. That's just how I believe. I don't believe in the justice system fully. I believe in vengeance, and that's just who I am, and it will never change, because I'm a parent, I'm a dad, and I will do, again, whatever it takes to protect my daughter. So something that was really disturbing is they had people threatening to dig up graves of kids because they said it was a lie. They were urinating on their graves. Like, I would not just sit back as a parent. I will not be that person. So this is really, really sad, the world we live in. And one of the biggest issues is social media and internet access. And people, I've been reading tweets of people that write stuff that just aren't true. And you're putting out misinformation and lies. And I think people, if you tweet lies that can defame a character, I feel that it should personally be punishable and fined, because you're literally just saying whatever it takes for you to get some followers or some likes or whatever it is. I would never sit there and write lies to make myself feel better. This world is full of people that are not mentally all there, and people that don't have a sense of common sense or the IQ ability to have their own thought and thought process. And that's why I feel I'm very different from a lot of people. I'm not a follower, and I will never ever be a follower. And that's a big reason why I'm not a religious person, and I'm not a political person, because it's like, hey, I could side one thing with this and you guys are going to tell me I'm a Republican. I could side one thing with this and you tell me I'm a Democrat. I'm not for either side, and I don't support either of the sides of what they do. Now, there's some things I might agree with, there's some things I don't, but I'm not going to label myself a political party. That's not what I am. And then same with religion. I grew up Jewish, and my grandparents weren't religious. My parents weren't really that religious. So religion is something just keeps being passed on to generation and try to force upon your children, and that's not something that I'm going to do. And nobody should judge me for that, because I'm not judging the way anybody else raises their children in regards to teachings of religions. I believe I know what's right and what's wrong, and that's the difference. I live by my code, and you can live by your code. You can live by the Bible. You can live by whatever you want. If you think something right is right in your eye, that's on you. And if you do something wrong thinking it's right, then you clearly don't have the intelligence to know what's the difference between right and wrong, which is something that you try to figure out as a child going into a teenager years, what's right and what's wrong. So my life, I live for two things. I live to help others and be there for others when people actually need me, because I was the type of person that was always offering help. And that, failed me kind of miserably, so now I'm a person that like, hey, look, if you ask for help, I'm willing to help. And I made a story saying that, like, if somebody comes up to me on the street and asks me for money and I hand them money, that's not really helping them, because I don't know what they're doing with that money. If somebody comes up to me and I know them and they're like, hey, look, I'm struggling because of X, Y, and Z, because realistically, we all can do things to make money. It's about question about how hard are we working to get it, or what are we doing to get it. And I have a lot of people that are like, oh, you just sell your body and you do this and you do that, and that's why you have what you have. Realistically, I pay more taxes than almost anybody else. And I also provide entertainment for people. I don't judge anybody else how they make their money, but realistically, if you do work a regular job for an employer, you're a small percentage of a big amount that's going to the owner that you will never ever meet or see probably in your entire life. And you don't know who that person is. You don't know if they're a good person or a bad person, or you don't know. And most people with a lot of money have power. And when you have power, you have control. And when you have control, you can do almost anything. Look at P. Diddy. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. Those are perfect examples. I'm not saying everybody with money is a bad person. I really wanted to go on this video and before say something is, I don't think that I'm better than anybody else in this entire world. Am I maybe more intelligent? Yeah, quite frankly. Do I work harder? Maybe, but I don't think I'm better than anybody else. So I have people come up to me all the time and they're like, hey, nice car, asking me questions. What do you do for work? Blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. And realistically, my car is just a materialistic possession. It doesn't mean that much to me. It's great. I love it. I worked hard for it. But it doesn't define who I am. What defines who I am is a father. And that's where I devote myself to, is my daughter. So if my daughter, God forbid, needed a surgery, I would sell my car in 2 seconds to pay for it. If that was, needed. And like I said, God forbid. So I value my daughter more than anything in this world. And I aim to provide for her and take care of her and raise her the way I want to raise her and what I believe is right. Now, that might not be right to somebody else, but that's right in my eyes. And like I said, being a good person in general is huge to me. And it's not about doing this because a religion told me to do it, not because somebody else told me to do it. It's what I believe in. Being the best that I can be and raising my daughter in the way that I believe is right makes me feel gratification. And also producing in this world, meaning leaving behind my legacy. That's the two most important things to me. The devotion I have to my daughter and the devotion I have to making kids. And not only just having kids is not what is good, is taking care of them and raising them to be a good part of society is huge. And I know a lot of people ask me, they're like, yo, Jake, what about your job? Is that something you would let your daughter do? No, I wouldn't. I don't sit here and boast and brag about my work. I'm not saying that my work is necessarily the worst thing you can do. There's much worse that you can do. But people in this field tend to gravitate in a negative light, whether it's drugs or escorting. And like these, like, I'm not saying that escorting's bad. Like, I don't judge people on what they do for a living, but that's not something I personally agree with. And again, that's me. This is my channel. This is my life, and this is how I feel. So there's much worse, you know. So with my work, like, I see now women that advertise themselves on Twitter of their OF and specific posts, which they really shouldn't really comment on, but they're just trying to advertise themselves. And literally people attack the crap out of them. And the people that attack the crap out of them usually don't have their own photos on their profile. Just like me, when I respond to somebody, you know, I have people attack me all the time. And it's just like, you're a piece of crap, you're this, you're that. And it doesn't bother me. It's the point of that the person who's responding to me sounds like they have so much hate in their voice. And not only that, they don't even use their photo, which is a little bit laughable. But I don't sit there and, you know, go back and forth with them too much because I don't want to waste my time on them. But in general, those are bad people. The people that sit there and curse out people and tell them that they're wrong for what they believe in is wrong. Just like I said, I don't agree with people's political and religious beliefs, but I'm not sitting here trying to tell them that you shouldn't believe in this because of this, and this. No. Just like I don't like when religious people come up to me and be like, you need to believe in the Haram or Islam or Christianity or Catholicism, like Jesus this, Jesus that, Jesus died for your sin, Jesus, like, I'm tired of it, right? I appreciate that of everything that everybody did before me to get me to this point. Thank you so much, but I'm not going to sit there and worship my life to that. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm going to focus on my daughter, my life, my girlfriend, my dogs. Because at the end of the day, when I'm under a bridge and I have no money and I can't afford to take care of my daughter and I have nothing and my girlfriend leaves me, I can say whatever I want. I can pray to whoever I want, but it will not change. And you might say, well, you have to believe. Again, if that's what you believe in, that's great. That's not what I believe in. Nothing's going to fall from the sky in this world. And this world is getting really, really scary, ugly, and dangerous. And there's really bad people out there. And even those bad people are religious. So you tell me about it. Why? Why are those bad people getting away with what they get away with? Because this is what runs the world. Money, sex, religion, politics, and power. Those 5 things. If those 5 things didn't exist, then this world would be a better place. I promise you. If we were rewarded for actually being good people, the world would be a better place. If you work any job for 10 years and you're helping society, you should get a car. If you work 25 years and helping society, you should get a house. If you work a job in general and you're helping society, you should get free healthcare and free food for a minimum of a year working. These are all necessities in life that you have to literally slave your ass out in order to afford a house right now. This world is falling apart. You have more apartments being built than ever for people to rent because they don't want you to buy a house. A house is a long-term investment, right? What is an apartment? Apartment's not an investment. You rent for 3 years. You say, can I apply my rent to the purchase of this apartment? Of course you can't. It's not a leased vehicle. It doesn't work that way. It's scary. It's really scary. My bills are very expensive, and I have to work harder in order to sustain that. But I literally have so much sympathy and empathy for the people out there that are just trying to get their first house or make it by or take care of their children. It's not easy. It's no, I'm putting me first before everybody else. That's not going to be successful. I mean, when you have a family, you can't do that. So I honestly hope everybody the best. I'll continue to be the good person that I am, and help society in whatever way I can. Bringing a beautiful daughter into this world, and letting her know and the truth and honesty of this world and what's in it, and protect her from everything. But also be her friend and be a parent, not keep her in a bubble as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. I'd be happy to answer them, whether it's via video or just via comment. I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'm very, very hungry. But please, guys, be safe out there. It's very, very dangerous and very scary. And I just truly see the world for what it is now. And that doesn't mean I don't hate or dislike people. But I also see bad people. And I can tell when somebody's out for themselves, because your best friend might throw you or push you off a bridge for $50, like legit. So my circle is very, very tight knit, and that's how I'm gonna live my life. I'm not gonna trust people the way I used to trust people, because I know how some people really are. And I promise you that if you line up 10 males to 10 men at 30 to 45, 50, 5 of them have really bad intentions. Another 2 of them are just not good people. And maybe 1 out of those people really genuinely have a good heart. So, and that just giving the shirt off your back just doesn't make you a good person. Actually listening to people and seeing how you can help them actually makes you a good person, and facilitating whatever way you can, not just funding it. If you just fund people, that doesn't make you a good person. That means you're doing it for a specific reason, whether it's publicity or just to say, hey, I did this, or to write it off as a charitable tax deduction, whatever. Giving people money is not, to me, it just doesn't make you automatically a good person, because rich people do that and they're still evil. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care. God bless.